Hi guys and gals, today we're going to talk about the core activation. We're going to do a plank. It's going to be an advanced variation of the plank. We're going to use a plate. It's called the impossible plank, also called the plank plate roll. And you really need to have a good stability and a strength in your core. So make sure you're advanced if you're doing it. So you should at least be able to hold 3 minutes of a normal plank before doing this. And also you should be able to do at least 1 minute of plank on a medicine ball, which I already have a video about as well. And then you should come and try this exercise, because it's not just about the core. You should have an overall stability and balance in your body. And also, if you've got any shoulder injuries, make sure you do not flex the arm too much or flex the shoulder too much. We're gonna go through the details, but first I'm just gonna do the exercise and then we're gonna cover everything. Good. So, as you saw, I was rolling the plate as well, and that causes me to use other muscles as well. So, first of all, before going through this exercise, let's cover the plank itself, the normal plank itself first, and then we're gonna talk about more details that are related to this exercise. So, for a normal plank, you should just keep your body straight. Do not bring the hip up or too much down. Make sure it's in a straight line. Also, do not bring the elbows too much up or too much back. So these are the simple things that I have talked about again in that video that I have about the plank on a medicine ball. Now, a medicine ball is going to be really similar to a plank on the ground. Also, if it was hard for you to hold the plank, you can also do it on your knees. But again, make sure the body is straight, so do not bring the hip too much down or push it too much up. Also, the elbow positioning should be the same as well. Now, these are pretty much things that we have talked about. Everything from your torso all the way down is going to be the same with this exercise as well. The only thing that is going to be different is the positioning of the arm or the degree of shoulder flexion. That's why you must make sure that your shoulder has a good stability and health. If you've got problem in your shoulder, it doesn't matter how much strong your core is, you're not going to be able to do this exercise perfectly, and it's just going to cause more trouble than benefit. So if your shoulder is not that stable, or if you're a little bit scared for the health of the shoulder, try to bring the plate a little bit closer to your body. So instead of bringing the arm too much forward and flexing the shoulder, try to bring it a little bit back and also flex the elbow as well. This way it's going to be easier. So this is an easy variation. Although the more you flex the elbow, the more you're going to use the tricep, but still it's going to be safer for the shoulder because it's not in a vulnerable position. And the more you bring the hand forward, you need to have a good stability in your lats as well. So basically, the muscles that are going to be covered in this exercise are the same as plank, plus a few other muscles. So in a plank, you use your most important core muscles like your rectus abdominis, which we've talked about. Your transversus abdominis is going to be activated. Your obliques are going to be activated. Your serratus anterior is going to be activated to some level. And even your hip flexors are a little bit activated as well. And some other small muscles as well are going to be activated. But in this exercise, the activation of the serratus anterior is going to be a lot more. the activation of the oblique muscle are going to be a lot more because you're going to the sides as well, so you're going to activate them. Also, the muscles that are responsible for the flexion of the spine from the side or lateral flexion are going to be activated as well because you need to keep that balance and stability. So your QL is going to be activated. The other muscles in that region, even the lats that we mentioned, is going to be activated, both because your elbow is in front and also because they help in lateral flexion as well. Your paraspinals are going to be activated a lot more. Your transversus spinalis is going to be activated a lot more, and overall you're going to have a better core activation. When it comes to choosing the right plate, you've got to consider two main things. First of all, the bigger the circumference of the plate is, the harder it's going to be. Although you're going to come up more, but because the distance you're going to travel is going to be a lot more, you need a lot more core activation and balance. Also, your shoulder needs to work a little bit more, so it's going to be harder. But the smaller the plate you choose, the easier it's going to be because you're not going to move that much. Another thing is the width of the plate itself. The wider you choose the plate, the easier it's gonna be because you don't need to balance it from the forward and back because it's gonna be stable on the ground. So if it's really thick, you're not gonna be challenged that much from the forward and back. But if it's really thin, you should be really careful. And so first let's start with a thicker plate to understand the exercise because it could be dangerous, especially if you bring it close to your face. And then you can use a thinner plate. Also, if you want to make it a little bit more challenging when you're doing the exercise, make sure the legs are not so much wide apart. So this is gonna be the hard variation. And this is gonna be the easier variation. If the distance between your feet is wide, you're not going to be challenged that much with the balance, but when you take a narrow stance, because you might fall when you're rolling, you need more core activation. As mentioned, you can do this on your knees as well, but make sure the body is in a straight line.